and much more. I think you'll find this interesting. Watch this. Mr. President, it's a great honor to have you. Welcome to the United States,
sir. It's a pleasure to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You took one of the more courageous stands I'd ever seen on the world stage as it relates to radical Islam. And I want to remind our audience what you said. And you gave a speech, and it was translated. And you were talking about the Islamic world and the destruction of the rest of the world. And you said, you raised a question. You said, is it possible that 1.6 billion Muslims should want to kill the rest of the world's inhabitants, that is 7 billion, so that they themselves may live? Impossible. And then you said Islam needs a religious revolution. And I want you to go into that further. Explain.
Here I was talking about the false ideas that misrepresent this religion, and I was talking about such sets of ideologies that can be adopted by some people, which led to what we can see around in this world now, because terrorism and extremism that we see practiced by some and the extremist organizations are just misinterpretation of such religion. So when we talk about rectifying the religious rhetoric, it means that we want to filter the false ideology and the misconceptions of those who follow it, so that we don't see what we see happening around us.
In this city, I grew up in New York. I've lived around the rest of the United States. In this city, we lost 3,000 people, and it led to a big war on terror. Does the world, the people of this world, need to unite against modern-day evil? That is radical Islam. Would you like to see that?
The extremist ideology is not the only thing. It's the extremist ideology, extremist organizations as well. We need to confront those in the Arab Islamic worlds and the whole world community, and we all need to stand firm with a comprehensive strategy against these, and it's not confined to military and security. Confrontation has to have a comprehensive one with a lot of other components, economic, social, cultural, in addition to the security and the military components of this confrontation.
When you indoctrinate children into believing they are doing the work of a creator, of Allah, whatever the religion, into believing that when they kill innocent men, women, and children, how is it possible unless you get to the root cause of it? And one of the things that I liked about your speech is you addressed the radicalism head on. That's what was courageous. I think there has been a timidity, a cowardice almost, when it comes to saying radical Islamic terror. In this country, people that say radical Islamic terrorism are criticized. Does that surprise you?
Criticism and difference are normal with any idea, whether the idea has already been proposed or is now being proposed. But let me tell you that I want you to imagine this. If 1 in 1,000 people from the 1.6 billion Muslims becomes radicalized, how many radicalized people will be in the world? 1,600,000? And this is, of course, a hypothetical number. But let me explain here one thing, that we don't want to tarnish the whole Muslims with one brush because of the malpractices of some extremists. Again, I'm saying the confrontation cannot be confined to New York or the United States. But we, in our part of the world, has borne the brunt of this extremism and terrorism, and for many years, not only for the last decade. We are the most people who paid the highest price for the extremists in the world.
That is true. More Muslims have been killed by radicalized Muslims than any other group. I concede the point. You yourself had to take military action with the death of 21 Coptic Egyptian Christians dealing with ISIS in Libya at the time. And you took strong military steps. So it would be good, in my view, if the world would recognize the radicalism and confront it. Fair?
صحيح.
Absolutely. I want to say that this was the first time when we deployed our troops outside the territory of Egypt to attack these elements when the slaughter took place. In Egypt, as a responsible leadership for the whole nation, couldn't just sleep at night or miss that night without retaliating.
You took it a step further. Your country, for example, recognizes that the Muslim Brotherhood, you've designated it, I agree with you, as a terrorist organization. You have asked the United States to similarly designate this a terror organization. But there's been resistance in the United States, like there was resistance to identifying radical Islamists. Why do you think there's this resistance to just identify those people that would commit evil in our time against innocent men, women, and children?
The United States is a great country, and it's the superpower in the world. It has different shades of ideologies, and the United States has its own perspectives that we respect and admire. Maybe it takes more time on the part of the United States until they recognize that the extremist organizations have a bad impact, not only on the United States, but on the whole world. And the United States is responsible not only for the safety and well-being of Americans, but of the whole world. And I'm asking the people to ponder at the